Ooh, let's go.
Let's hit it, boys.
Are we just gonna start every episode off with someone just opening something and eating it?
Nom, nom, nom.
I'm exposing the shit out of you, man.
Exposed.
This podcast contains mature themes and language that may not be suitable for some audiences.
Listener discretion is advised.
Start this shit. People are actually back for this. Holy fuck. At least we have a name now. Welcome to episode number 3 of You're Not Gonna Believe This podcast. I'm Gabby.
I'm Allison. And we finally have a name. That's an achievement.
Holy shit, we have a name.
It only took us 3 episodes to get a name.
It took us longer than 3 episodes. Fuck.
Only
Took us 3 episodes and a prayer.
Oop.
Oof.
Who we praying to?
Oh, the spaghetti monster. I don't know.
Oh, good one.
Whoever the fuck you want to. Why are we always czars?
You can pick whatever you want. I don't want to be a Tsarina. I am a Tsar and I want my title.
I'm the king. I'm the king's cup of this episode.
What does that mean?
King's cup. That's a drinking game.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's important because we're going over my actual Lord and Savior in this episode. I'm talking about my homeboy, my home skillet, Michael Malloy.
That name rings a bell.
You ever heard of Michael Malloy?
I think I have.
Well, he is, throughout college, as everything just turned to shit, all I kept writing in my agenda was, if Michael Malloy could do it, so can you.
Ooh.
And you're about to figure out why.
Okay.
Not much is known about his just childhood, his young life, most of his adulthood, going into, he was an Irish immigrant.
Okay.
And he moved to the States in good old, I'd say around the early 1900s. So, which was not a great time to be an Irish immigrant in the States.
Was that was famine time?
That was around famine
potatoes.
Time? Huh? No more potatoes.
No more potatoes.
No potatoes. They're all dead.
We're Italian now.
Oh, fuck. Well, all of them went through Ellis Island. It's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what that meant? If you sounded different coming through Ellis Island, no one liked you.
We love xenophobia.
We love xenophobia, even back in the 20s. Of course they did.
Was he Northern Irish or?
He was fucking Irish, man.
All right.
I love this guy. I say sadly he was a walking Irish stereotype in terms of the man wouldn't get paid in money. The man, for whatever job he did, would get paid for in drinks. The good man loved to drink. He drank from sunrise to sunset. Like I said, not much is known about him. He had no friends or family, at least in the States. He probably had acquaintances here and there, just homeless people back and forth. He was a homeless man. Around the time of the story, let's just say he's around 60 years old. People guessed.
Oh, okay.
Around 60 years old.
Not a young guy.
Not a young guy. But Michael is Iron Mike the Durable. He was a fucking tank. Like I said, he would drink from sun up, sundown, pass out in between. He was stumbling around drunk just all the time, still doing his odd jobs and stuff in exchange for booze and food and whatever. But even through Prohibition era started, the man still kept up. The man was still a drunk. I don't know how he...
Prohibition stopped no one.
It stopped no one. He managed to sniff out the speakeasies easy, which I don't know how police weren't just like, okay, we know this guy's just fucked up all the time. Let's just tail him and kill every speakeasy that he ever walks into.
The police had to know. They had to visit the speakeasies. Like, they were like...
To.
They wanted their booze, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, who doesn't? At that time, when they were like, you can't have it. It's like telling a kid, no, you can't have this. And then they nearly fucking kill you to get it.
Yeah, they wanted more.
Through Prohibition, what is common after the Prohibition era or during the end of the Prohibition era? What happened in the States?
Oh. Not crack.
Jesus. Like, no, not crack.
Like, are we talking about the Roaring 20s?
What happened after that?
War?
Depression. Depression. Everyone was depressed. And I don't mean like me. Everyone's depressed. And the economy sucks. So Great Depression happens. More and more people are getting homeless. People are doing more things just to earn a quick buck or earn a quick amount of money. Just doing terrible shit, illegal shit, just to get money, just to get by.
Yeah.
Whether it's tax evasion, whether it's writing bad checks, whether it's insurance fraud. One of the most popular things to do, and it happened to this one young woman, Mabel Carson. Her age unknown. Different sources I look at are like, this was a young woman or this was an older woman.
A woman.
Regardless, homeless woman of no age, immortal, but not really, because she dead.
We'll place her like 45. I feel like that's a good mid.
45 is a good middle.
It's like young and old at the same time.
Imagine, get Mabel's name and imagine the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2.
Okay.
Just think of her. Mabel Carson had befriended a then 27-year-old Tony Marino.
Oh.
Tony Marino.
Everyone's
very Italian in this. So, baba da boopa, boopa da bapa. But,
is that racist?
I am. I hope not. If it helps, I am Italian. I say it to my grandma all the time, and she's just like, yeah. Anyway, Mabel, I don't know what possessed her to do this. Tony somehow convinced Mabel to take out a $2,000 life insurance policy.
I see where this is going.
Which, mind you, in the 1930s, Great Depression, America, New York City, that's a shit ton.
Oh, yeah.
But she obviously was physically there to be like, yeah, set this up, this is good. Mm-hmm. And, of course, who was the beneficiary? Him. So in case anything happened to Miss Mabel, then he would get $2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
A fun thing to know about Tony Marino, he was a speakeasy owner.
Oh, okay.
During this time. So he easily was able to get alcohol. So he was just like, hey, Mabel, here's all these drinks. Gave her a shit ton of booze. She passed out. Decided to get indecent, and he took off her clothes. Doused whatever sheets, mattress, whatever she was laying on, doused it and her in water, popped her under an open window.
Oh my god.
And by the morning, she was just dead. The medical examiner listed the cause of death as bronchial pneumonia, and Tony collected the money without incident.
Not hypothermia? Or is that like part?
Well, that's just what the medical examiner put on it.
All right.
Pneumonia, bronchial pneumonia, hypothermia. They were just like, she got real cold, she did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they weren't like, this weird young man who has no relation to her whatsoever is the beneficiary. We're gonna give that to him.
Give that man some money.
Give that man some money. So he can run this speakeasy. Oh, that comes back. So Tony, good old Tony, that $2,000 only got him so far. The speakeasy is falling on hard times as far as business goes. He's at his speakeasy. The front of the speakeasy is like a little awning shop on a street. So like you would walk in, it would look like an awning shop, and then you go in a back door, go downstairs, and there would be his speakeasy just set up. One afternoon, it was July, let's say 1932. So right in the summer, nice. Malloy was in his bar. So Michael Malloy frequented Tony's bar a lot. Mike would exchange sometimes for drinks, he would work behind the bar, or he'd clean, he'd do something. He would still do his odd jobs in exchange for drinks. But at the same time, he had a tab that was just going and going, because you're only going to cover so many drinks under doing a job. You're not going to just say, oh, you did the gutters outside, here, have like as much drinks as you want tonight. Especially not to someone that's renowned going by as an alcoholic.
Yeah.
You're not just going to say, have as many drinks as you want, because he will have as many drinks
exactly.
as in your bar. But he was talking to two of his friends, Francis Pasqua and Daniel Kreisberg. Francis Pasqua himself was, he was 24 at the time, which, goddamn, he's my age. Homeboy, what are you doing?
Homeboy.
But he was an undertaker by trade.
Whoop.
And then Daniel Kreisberg was 29 at the time. He was a grocer. He worked at the grocery store, owned one, I believe he did, and was a father of 3. You poor thing.
Huh.
But he would later say that what is about to go down, he did for the sake of his family, for his kids.
Don't like that.
Yep.
You know what my kids need? Some murder.
His last name's Kreisberg. I don't think he's Italian.
Oh, yeah, shit.
Oh my god.
Whatever.
But pretty much what Tony was talking about, he's like, guys, I don't know what the hell's going on. My speakeasy, it ain't doing good. I got kids to take care of. I got all this shit going on. My wife's like, what the hell are you doing? So I don't know what to do. So as he's talking about the business and everything, who walks in? Michael Malloy. He's just like, hey, man, just another morning, if you don't mind. So pretty much like, hey, man, I know it's like 8 a.m., but same shit, different day. If you know what I mean, give me the same shit, please. He would keep this charade up. He would drink, and then hours later, he'd pass out.
Okay.
Wake up, have a sardine sandwich, drink, pass out.
I feel like throw up
And keep
should
going.
be somewhere in there.
I don't know.
I'd
His
throw up
his
after
system might be
sardine
so
sandwich.
used to it that he was just like, eh. So Tony looked at Pasqua and Kreisberg. He was like, yo, business is shit. I don't know what to do. Mind you, he already got away with killing Mabel Carson. He got away with that scot-free.
Somehow.
The $2,000 came and went. But he was like, I don't know what to do. Pasqua looks over and he sees Michael Malloy just slumped over, sleeping at the bar, whatever he's doing. And he had an idea. Because no one knows where Michael came from. He was an immigrant, Irish. He had the thick Irish accent. And then when he was drunk, it was even more, it was just incomprehensible. He had no friends in the States, no family, no stable job, no, like, someone that could be like, hey, Michael hasn't come by in a while, because the only place he would really go constantly was the speakeasy.
Yeah.
So he just looks over at him, and he's like, yo, you did it before, why don't you just take out some insurance on Malloy? And I can take care of the rest. Because Pasqua was an undertaker, so he would be able to, once the body comes in, clean it up, write whatever, done.
Yeah.
So, which is probably how he was able to, Marino was able to get away with Mabel Carson being listed as like, oh, not suspicious death.
Yeah. Very
Because
useful. Yes.
it's great when your friend's an undertaker. Tony Marino looked and he was just like, you know, the man's older, he drinks all the fucking time. He can't have much left in him, right? All it's going to take is one terrible night of heavy drinking and he might just be dead. Who knows? He's already far gone. And then they both looked at Daniel Kreisberg. Mind you, who's the oldest of the group? Danny boy, what the fuck are you doing?
How old was he?
He's 29.
Oh, okay.
Marino's 27. Pasqua, who's the brains of the operation, is 24.
All right.
So they looked at him and they were like, what are you? You're in or you're out? And he, like I said, later said that he did this because of his family. And he was like, fine, yeah, I'm in. So he was like, fine, I'll do the legwork. I know how insurance shit works. I know how to do back and forth with that. He paid one of his friends, an unnamed acquaintance, to go to and from different insurance companies and say, this is my friend or my cousin, whoever, Nicholas Mallory. He's a florist. he wants to take out insurance, a life insurance policy. And he would list Pasqua as one of his colleagues in the insurance policy and leave everything to him.
Okay.
So they had like a figurehead stand and saying like, this is my friend, this is the one, he's going to take out a life insurance policy. Because even if they went up and said like, yo, here, they can't take Michael Malloy in and say, hey man, sign up for insurance, because A, the man's 10 to 1 drunk. B, he'd probably be like, yo, what the hell's going on? Mabel, like I said, I don't know exactly what was up with her to so easily say, sure, I'll do insurance and I'll put you on it, Tony. But he wasn't one that would seem as likely to do that.
Yeah.
Plus, as soon as you drag a drunk man to an insurance place, that would probably set off red flags and be like, does this guy even know what he's doing?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't do it. It took Pasqua like back and forth 5 months to get this set up. So it started in July and it ends up being December. But he ended up securing 3 policies on Nicholas Mallory's life. Mallory being Michael Malloy.
Yes.
That's the cover-up. 2 with Prudential Life Insurance and 1 with Metropolitan Life Insurance. Because I have the book, unfortunately, I don't have it with me. But as I was reading, the one guy that set him up with the 2 life insurance policies at Prudential was pretty much like desperate, like, oh no, I'm going to lose a client. Oh no, I'm going to lose a client. And he knew Pasqua because obviously he's an undertaker. To do insurance all the time when you have reputable clients and clients that keep coming back, it's like the same thing if you have a good business going and you want the same people to come back that you know are going to bring in more money. And undertaker's a given that you're going to keep seeing back and forth. That's what he kept going through loops, rings, jumping through hoops, all that stuff to get those 2 life insurance policies on there. Altogether, it was chill, but they needed another person to get in on this plot. And that person was Joseph Murphy, who was the bartender, the more all-around bartender at Marino Speakeasy. And Joseph, I would pin him around late 20s, 30s. He was already brought into the plot. He was like, sure, fine, I'll do it. But he was brought on to identify once Michael was dead, to be like, yeah, that's Nicholas Mallory. Because they pretty much needed someone besides Pasqua to just be like, yep, that's him. If all went as planned, Pasqua and his cohorts would split $3,576. Which doesn't seem like a lot.
But
in our dollars around today would be $54,000.
Ooh,
split between 4 people. The press ended up calling these guys later on the Murder Trust.
I like that.
Which sounds like a weird punk band. But let's say we come up with a murder plot. How many people would you want in that plot?
A few. Fewer. Fewer the better. More money.
Why?
Go around.
Why?
You can break less, you know? Yeah, you're splitting money between 4 people versus 3. It's like, okay, more money for me.
Yeah, you would think, especially thinking Great Depression, we're doing this so we can have money.
Yeah.
That they would keep it like, you know what, we just have good old Joseph Murphy in just to be the next person in, and it's just gonna stay us 4, right?
Yeah.
You got Pasqua, you got Marino, you got Murphy, and you got Kreisberg. Done. Murder Trust. Yeah, no. These men did not know how to keep their goddamn mouths shut. As time went on, and you'll see how long time will go on, the Murder Trust ended up getting more regulars of Marino's that frequented his bar, including petty criminals John McNally, Edward Tinier Smith, which is weird because he had an artificial ear, but it was made of wax, so I don't know why he was tin ear. But you got McNally, you got Tinier, you got my favorite one to ever say, Tough Tony Bastoni.
Tough Tony Bastoni.
And his sidekick, Joseph Maglione. So pretty much, like I said, it took 5 months to get all of these insurance policies together. So as the insurance policies were getting figured out, that's when these guys were being more and more recruited. So instead of just 4 people, they were 8.
Okay.
So you're going to split
Oh boy, yeah.
3576 with 8 people. That's significantly lower 6. So at that point, it's like, how much are you actually going to get out of this?
Toss me a penny.
So they finally started the plot in December of 1932. One night, Tony Marino just walked up to Malloy. He's like, hey, Mike, so the other saloons, the other speakeasies have been a little bit on me, so just pressure from other businesses. So I'm going to have to ease up the rules. And you're my most loyal customer. I'm going to give you an open-ended tab. No cap. No cap. Drink however much you want. So Malloy was just like, oh, fucking shit, man. Hell yeah, give me more. More whiskey. More whiskey.
I understand that's like an alcoholic's dream, but isn't that fishy? Wouldn't that
The
seem
man
a little
was already
fishy?
the man was already blitzed at that point.
He couldn't even detect fishy.
He ate sardine sandwiches on the daily. He could not detect fishy.
He is fishy. Crickets.
So literally it would be no sooner than Malloy was just like, okay, I might do shots. As soon as he would do a shot and put the shot glass down, Marino would pour it. It was like a constant, like, I'll take a shot, I'll sip a shot, I'll do whatever. He would be right there and pour him a new one immediately. One of the members of the murder trust, like, of course, looked on. They're all like, okay, let's see this fucker die. Let's see him fall. Let's see this happen.
Oop.
They were like, Malloy had been a hard drinker all his life. So he drank on and on and on and on. This man drank until Marino's arm got tired from holding the bottle. And then some. Remarkably, his breath remained steady. His skin was, like, usually you can see, like, if the oxygen's starting to go down.
Yeah.
Or if the man's starting to get sick, you would expect him to get pale. You expect something. Nothing. Finally, he was just like, thank you for your hospitality, wiped his mouth with his sleeve, and walked out. And was like, I'll be back soon, ma'am.
He said, thank you
Saluted,
for your service.
told the bartender, have a great fucking night, whatever the fuck, and left. And then within 24 hours, he was back.
This man's some Rasputin shit.
They called him the Rasputin of the Bronx.
There we go. All right.
So they were just like, okay, all right, you know what? We started a little later in the day. Let's keep it going. Let's keep doing this. The man kept that up for 3 days straight. Only pausing for his damn sardine sandwiches.
Disgusting.
So Marino and his accomplices were like, what the actual fuck is going on? Why isn't he dead yet? Gianna, do you know what a cement mixer is?
Mixes cement.
What a cement mixer drink is. Allie, do you remember what a cement mixer drink is?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay, so you take an acid and you take
acid and base.
you take an acidic and you put dairy. Yeah. And it immediately just kind of like
it curdles.
It curdles immediately.
Yeah.
So you get Bailey's Irish cream and lemon juice.
Yes.
Do a shot of each at the same time and mix it in your mouth and try to swallow it without throwing up.
Oof.
That is, you know what? If they served him that, he would have fucking died probably.
That would have been a good test.
That would have been a good test, but you know what? He probably wouldn't have died.
Maybe not.
But at the same time, all of them just stared at him during these 3 days. They're like, he's got to fucking puke. He's got to fucking do something. He's got to smack his head. He's got to do something stupid. Nothing.
This man is Irish. He is Irish blood.
He walked into the bar on the 4th day and was like, boy, ain't I got a thirst? He was just like, I'm fucking thirsty, ho. Where's my drink at? And Tough Tony Bastoni, there's a reason they call him Tough Tony Bastoni. What do you think the reason is?
He's got some muscle.
And what does he like doing?
Use that muscle.
He gonna use that muscle how?
Is he gonna strangle?
He got very impatient. He was like, can we just shoot this fucker in the head?
Ooh.
And Murphy, little Jojo behind the bar, was like, how about we do this better? And not in an obvious way, so the cops don't try to find you, you goddamn idiot. He was a bit of course he's behind the bar, he likes to experiment with stuff. He does other stuff on the side, whatever the fuck he does, but he knows how chemical reactions work.
Yeah.
He recommended, why don't we switch out his shots of whiskey and gin with shots of wood alcohol?
I knew it was gonna be some kind of alcohol, like rubbing alcohol or something like that.
Yeah, here's the thing. Wood alcohol does something else. drinks containing just 4% wood alcohol
Doesn't it, like, strip your insides?
could cause blindness.
Oh,
Just 4%.
okay.
But at the same time, when Prohibition started, they're like, you know what? It smells like alcohol. It has alcohol in the name. Why don't you drink it? By 1929, more than 50,000 people had died nationwide from the effects of impure alcohol. So it would be like, say, whiskey mixed with wood alcohol or something, just to do something.
Spice it up.
People would just straight up fucking die because it was poison.
Yeah.
And they were like, you know what? We could, so instead of just giving him shots, like, remember I said 4% wood alcohol causes blindness. So you think they would mix his shots? No, they just gave him straight up wood alcohol.
This man did not notice, did he?
So Tony thought it was a great plan. Marino. He was like, fine, I'll give him all the fucking drinks he wants until he just dies. So Murphy bought a few 10-cent cans of wood alcohol at the paint shop, which is like, you know what? Okay. The man's going to paint something. It's not like now where if you like buy rat poison or something, like you would go on like a thing, or like if you look something up, you'd go on like a government watch list or some shit.
You're on a list.
You're on the list. So what good old JoJo did was he served Malloy that night, because of course he's back every night, every day, every damn day. He was like, here's some cheap whiskey. And then he switched up to wood alcohol, because if the whiskey's already cheap, it tastes bad anyway. So if you switch up to something that tastes even worse, odds are he might not notice. Especially because he's usually shit-faced anyway.
Exactly.
So the gang just watched him. The murder trust was just like, okay, we'll see. Okay.
We'll see.
So one shot went. And another shot went. And another shot went. And he was like, yo, can I just have some more?
Oh, dear Lord.
He did not know. He could not tell the difference. But
This boy has some X Games, motherfucker.
what you don't know don't hurt you, because he couldn't tell, and he was not showing any symptoms like his head or his eyes falling off the chair, throwing up, anything. Nothing was happening with this man.
This is my idol.
So they were like, these men were fucking patient. They were like, you know what? Let's just keep trying. Let's just keep trying. Maybe they thought they were drunk. Maybe they thought, you know what? I'm seeing things. Maybe he is dying. Maybe he's dying. Maybe he just needs more. No.
This man isn't immortal. He cannot be killed.
Yep. So night after night, they kept doing that. Until one night, he just fell to the floor without warning. So Pasqua, Undertaker, they sent the Undertaker out. He knelt by his body, felt the neck for his pulse, and did the ear to the mouth thing.
I thought you said nut by his body. I was like, they nut by his body?
I mean,
Cut that out, Gianna.
if there's a way to place yourself in a crime scene, that's it.
That is true.
But
SVU.
oof, he just went by. He said he felt for a pulse, put his ear to his mouth to be like, can I hear this fucker breathing? I hope I hear nothing. And he just probably, first off, he got probably the worst whiff of wood alcohol he ever had in his life, probably. And B, the man was still breathing. He was still alive. It was labored because he was so drunk, but he was still alive.
This man. Oh my god.
They waited. They were like, okay.
He is not a man. This man is a god.
What the fuck?
He is a god.
They're like, okay, you know what? It might be taking some time. He just passed out. Let's just wait for that death rattle. And they got it, the death rattle, because he started snoring. The man was fucking
I love
sleeping.
him.
And you want to know what the best part is?
Yeah.
And I can't do an Irish accent, so I will not even attempt to do it, especially a drunken Irish accent. But he woke up hours later and was just like, and he just like rubbed his eyes, rubbed the sleepy out of his eyes. He's like, give me some of the old regular, my lad.
Ah.
And he's like, yeah, I'm over that shit. And they're like, you want more wood alcohol? What the fuck? Mind you, it was becoming cost prohibitive because obviously the open bar tab, which why would you give Michael Malloy an open bar tab anyway? That was your first mistake. I know you thought it was simple, but that was your first mistake. And then the cans of wood alcohol and the monthly insurance premiums, because they had these three insurance things going on. So Marino's just like, I'm gonna fucking go bankrupt. This is not gonna be great.
Huh.
And then Tough Tony, of course, is just like, why don't I fucking just kill him now?
No, Tony.
And Pasco's just like,
No, Tony.
there's more.
Oh.
So Malloy, as if the sardine sandwiches couldn't clue you in, the man loves seafood. Ireland's an island. There's all seafood all over the place. Think like Japan, because they're an island. They got seafood everywhere. They got the fish,
Well, they
all
got
that
some
shit.
Fish.
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 So he's like, okay, why don't we take some oysters? We'll treat the man and pop them and soak them in denatured alcohol.
Okay.
Let them soak a few days and give them to him.
A treat.
Alcohol, because Pasqua Undertaker, he knows bodily reactions, how they're supposed to be. But like I said, this man is
A god.
like you said, this man is not human.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, alcohol taken during a meal of oysters will cause acute indigestion, for the oysters tend to remain preserved because they're soaked in alcohol. So it's like he preserved them in a way.
Yeah.
So he's like, this man's gonna get sick. So as planned, Malloy ate them, washed them down with wood alcohol, was playing pinochle. The other guys were playing pinochle around. I'm just like, where the fuck is he?
Huh.
Why isn't he dead? Malloy just like licked his fingers and burped in their faces and was just like, yo, more drink.
Oh, boy.
At this point, like, killing him was just, aside from a payoff, they were just like, we want this fucker dead.
Yeah.
He's costing us a lot more money than he did before. He's just not even knowing that he's a tank. And he's pissing me off, so I want him dead. So Murphy tried next. Good old Jojo. He was like, okay, my wood alcohol thing didn't work through, but let's see. He opened a tin of sardines. Just popped it in the open in the back room where no one will go, and left it open for days. Just let it rot.
Ooh.
And then at the same time, he was like, I got some metal work done. Let me grab some shrapnel. Some metal shards and stuff. And he took the tin of sardines, put the sludge in a bowl, put the shrapnel in a bowl, mixed it all together like a little shrapnel sardine
Ooh,
salad.
A cocktail.
And he put it between two pieces of bread and was like, here's your sardine sandwich, bitch. I hope you choke on it.
Huh.
And they were like, okay, the metal, at least he'll start coughing up blood. He'll do something. Like, at this point, even though Joseph was like, let's be more subtle with how we kill him, he's putting straight up shrapnel in the sandwich now. Like, that's going to be traced back to someone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Malloy finished his sandwich and asked for another sandwich.
I love him.
The gang called an emergency conference.
How did he not even, like, cut his tongue open? Or something, or his throat?
The man probably, like, eats, like, sardines from the can all the time. I don't know if they're deboned. I don't know. I never opened a tin of sardines in my life. The man probably just chews on metal, like, just to get the seal off the bottle. Like, who knows?
Right.
But
Stinky
Marino was like,
sardines.
hey, remember that bitch, Mabel? This is how I killed her. Remember? You guys remember that? I told y'all. You didn't turn me in. You good. But also, why don't they just ice him down and why don't we ice him down and throw him outside? And they're like, well, we got nothing fucking better to do. Let's do it. So they picked him up, put him in the back seat of Pasqua's car, drove in silence to the park while Malloy's just like doing his like drunken like woo in the back, whatever he's doing. Drove to the park, and it's like December, or it's way after December. It's still winter in New York.
Yeah.
So it could even be May.
Winter in New York is, yeah, it's
it could
still
be
cold
May.
in
We don't know.
Yeah.
But they just picked him up, dragged him through snow, popped him on a park bench. We're like, yo, Mike, your shirt's kind of dirty. Ripped off his shirt, which forward, very forward. And dumped bottles of water on his chest and head. Mind you, Malloy was passed out, so he didn't know what the fuck happened. It was sleepy time.
Yeah.
So
Sleepy baby boy time.
Sleepy baby boy time. Sleepy baby Mikey time. So they were just like, okay, we dumped water on this fucker. He's got no shirt. He's in the snow. He's on a park bench. No one will find him until morning. We're good. We are fucking good.
Nah.
So Tony opened up his speakeasy the next morning, and was like, I need to get more bottles. Walked into the basement, and found Malloy's half-frozen form in the basement.
How did this man?
Somehow he walked half a mile and persuaded little Jojo Murphy to let him in. When he woke up, he's like, "There's a wee chill, man. There's a wee chill." And he was just like, "I'm a little cold. You left the AC on."
I'm cold inside, and it's July, and I'm like, oh my god, I could freeze in here. And this man's like, hard.
Yeah.
He's hard.
This has been 2 months.
Hardcore.
It is just about February now.
Oof.
So John McNally in the murder trust, he was like, "Can we just fucking run him over? Like, I don't care what we do." And old Tenier was just like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" with his ear. But everyone else was just like, "Can we just do something?" So they brought another person into the murder trust.
Oh no.
Because you don't learn. You damn
Even
kids don't learn.
Money.
Less of money. And found Harry Green, who was a cab driver, friend of John Maglione. And he was like, "I know a guy. His name's Harry. We'll give him $150 done." They all piled into his cab. Somehow just piled into the cab. You know?
They all fit?
You know when you, everyone, like, drives, like, spring break, and there's always the one super tiny girl that's, like, sitting on someone's lap or laying across everyone's lap in the middle seat? Uh-huh. Yeah, that was Michael Malloy just sleeping.
All right. I respect that.
Green drove a few blocks and stopped. Bastone and Murphy dragged Malloy down the road, holding him up crucifixion style by his outstretched arms. So the man was just, like, standing, and Tough Tony and then Jojo each grabbed an arm and lifted him up. Made sure he didn't, like, just pass out. And they were just like, okay. And then he gunned the engine. Everyone was just like, okay. And then Maglione saw a quick flash of light from somewhere. He was like, "Stop." It was just a woman in her room turning on a light, like, just in the street. Whatever. She didn't look out and go, "Hey, Harry, it's those goddamn kids from the speakeasy trying to kill someone again." No. Like, she didn't look out the window. She just turned on her light.
Yeah.
Might have even seen there were guys outside and was just like, "Fuck you," and closed her curtains.
Yeah.
Like, the light just went on.
People in New York do not give a fuck.
But they were just like, okay. By that time, Stone and Jojo were just like, "Okay, we got him up, he's good." And they walked away, still on standby in case anything. So Green just went for him. He gunned it towards him. Somehow Malloy leaped out of the way. How this man realized a car was coming towards him, I don't know. Maybe the exhaust got to his nose and he's like, "I smell no booze." And just jumped.
I smell no booze.
"I smell no liquor or sardines." Boop. And jumped out of the way. He did that twice. On the third attempt, Green raced towards Malloy at 50 miles an hour. Little Maglione was just like, you know the thing kids do in a scary movie? Like, if you walk in and kids watching Gremlins, they're covering their eyes, but then they're peeking through the cracks in their fingers. Yeah. That's what, like, half of the guys were doing. Just like, "Oh, fuck, this is gonna be bad, but we want to see him die."
They don't want to see death, but they want to see this man die.
And they're like, "You know what? We don't want to see anyone die, but this fucker can die."
But yeah, this guy.
2 thuds, 1 loud, 1 soft, a body against the hood, and then dropped to the ground. Pretty much Green just ran into him. Malloy fell onto the hood of the car. Against the windshield, he was hit. He just didn't go, like, barreling over the car.
Okay.
For good measure, well, he kept speeding, actually, because you're going at 50 miles an hour in February, so you don't
want to slam those brakes.
You don't want to slam those brakes or else you are dead.
You really want to touch those brakes.
You don't even want to touch them. You'd just rather coast for 50 until, like, you're in, like, the next city over and not stop. But he gunned at him as fast as he could. Malloy hit the hood, hit up, rolled over, and then Green was just like, "You know what? This fucker jumped out of the way. Let me do this." Popped in reverse and backed up over him. The gang was just like, "You know what? He is probably dead." But then at that exact time, a car decided to, like, they saw the headlights on another car, so they're like, "We can't even check if this man's dead. We're just gonna fucking go and have someone else find him. We don't care." So Joseph Murphy, remember we said Jojo was supposed to be the one that said, "Hey, this is my kin. This is my brother, Nicholas Mallory. This is this. I haven't seen him in a few days," or whatever. So he called morgues and hospitals around, just like, hey, I haven't seen my brother in a while. Do you have any reports of Nicholas or anything? No one had any information. There weren't reports of a fatal accident in the newspaper, so, like, nothing. It's like the man just disappeared. 5 days later, as Pasqua plotted to kill another anonymous drunk,
Oop.
any anonymous drunk, and pass him off as Nicholas Mallory, because they're like, we don't know where the fuck Malloy is. I might just kill another drunk just to pass him off. The door to Marino's speakeasy opened, and in limped a battered, bandaged Michael Malloy.
Why did this man come back? There are other speakeasies.
Because, as he said, I'm dying for a drink.
There are other speakeasies.
They fed
The
him.
bartender tried to kill you.
He didn't know that. He just know Tony.
Oh, yeah, I guess
Tony Marino, a good boy that give him the good seafood that smells like booze.
Do you think he wondered, like, what happened to him? You know what I mean?
I wish this man kept a diary because we have no idea.
Oh, can you imagine?
What he remembered. He remembered whiskey, night air, lights, getting closer to him, and then black. Next thing you know, he woke up in a warm bed at Fordham Hospital and only wanted to get to a bar. So someone did pick him up and, like, that was probably that passing car, just was like, yo, this fucker's in the road, what the fuck? And, like, someone was nice and took the drunk to a hospital.
Oh, they probably weren't from New York.
They knew God when they saw it, so they were just like, pick him
Oh my
up.
God, my Lord and Savior.
They're like, I will be truly blessed if I help this man.
Yeah.
So now it's near the end of February. How long has it been since the murder trust first convened?
It's been like since May, yeah?
It's been 7 months since they first decided, yes, we're going to do this. So 2 months since they actively started to try killing him at, like, every damn day.
Huh. All right.
So they decided to take care of things, not so much listening to Tony by like, we're going to shoot him, I'm going to strangle him, I'm going to do something. No. They're still going to try to go at it another way. So they said, you know what, Michael, you're just tired. Let's take you to this nice tenant, like this nice tenement down this way. Okay. We'll take you here. It was less than a mile from the speakeasy. So they took him there, placed him on a bed, got him nice and tucked in. The man was passed out as usual. They had a rubber hose with them. And in those days, piping wasn't usually concealed in some tenements.
Yeah.
Like, they were just like, we just popped up a building. People can live here. We're good. Done. Uh-huh. People can stay here the night. Good. Done. So what they did was they took the rubber hose, attached it to the gas line, turned on the gas line after the tube was put in Malloy's mouth, and had a towel just wrapped around it so not much gas could escape and, like, get to everyone else. And the man dead.
All right.
That is what finally killed him.
That took a lot.
Was them pretty much, not like as much as suffocation, like putting your hands on his throat, but pretty much they had to end up suffocating him with gas.
Yeah.
While he was passed out after 2 months of constantly trying to kill him to even get him to die.
Wow.
Even being hit by a car at 50 miles an hour, he came back like 2 weeks later.
This man.
He still didn't know people were trying to kill him?
I think it was just the drunken stupor. Like, he already had a lot of bad luck in his life. He had a lot of shit going on. He abused alcohol for a long, long time. Just probably to cope, and then he just was a lifelong drunk. So he was probably just like, bad shit happens. Because he was used to bad shit happening. So he probably didn't really realize. And at the same time, as sad as it was, he saw these guys all the time. And he was just like, oh, no, they want to do shit. They're my friends. I'm going to go back to them and pay Tony with my time and good person being here. I'm going to pay him with my time and company and not a shilling at all because I had not a goddamn thing. I might fix a pipe. I might do something. I don't know. But it was never like after the first, like, whiskey anything or first, like, after the first taste of what alcohol hit your tongue, you'd be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
No matter how drunk you are, depending. Like, I've been pretty drunk, and as soon as I taste, like, tequila instead of rum, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, depending on how your tolerance and how drunk you can get, you will notice a difference regardless of what's hitting your mouth. Michael did not. They found Michael, little Mikey Mike, in the tenement, dead. Pasqua, being an undertaker, he has them connections to Dr. Frank Manzella, who filed a phony death certificate citing lobar pneumonia. Lobar pneumonia, so like in his like lobes of his lungs. Like he had pneumonia like in his lungs, and that's what killed him.
Okay.
Which they could try to pass off. I don't necessarily know the reactions when your lungs are filling up with gas and like CO2 poisoning or however that is. Maybe you do get water on the lungs, maybe liquid is in your lungs, something. So from the Metropolitan Life Insurance Company, the gang got $800. $800.
For all of them?
From the one insurance company.
Okay, there's two others.
Because they got two through Prudential and one through Metropolitan.
Yes.
So Metropolitan cashed out $800. So
Like 100 each about?
let's say if you pay Hank Green now, that's $650. So that's a little under $100 for each person.
Yeah.
At the same time, Murphy and Marino, they're coworkers, they're buddies, they work at the bar, but they bought new suits. They were like, I'm gonna look fly as fuck, and bought new suits. So Pasqua got to the Prudential office, and he was just like, yo, this thing happened. And the agent was like, oh, okay, so when can I see the body? Because it was customary. I don't know if they still do it, but they're just like, yo, we just need to make sure this man's dead and it's who it is. So Pasqua was like, he's already buried. And so everyone's like, what? So it was that one insurance agent, probably not who worked with Pasqua before, that was just like, that's nice and all. I know you want to see this guy, but why is there no body? Like, you as an undertaker should know that we have to see proof that the person's dead. So what's going on?
You have to make that insurance claim, like, quick then.
Yeah. You usually, speaking, have to
Like,
make it quick.
if it's a loved one, you're not going to go running to insurance. You're going to, like, grieve your ass off.
But usually speaking, like, it takes a little bit for you to bury them.
Yeah. Like
These guys, like,
2 weeks.
these guys, like, right away, done.
All right.
Like, they just wanted nothing left to anything, nothing left to chance. They're like, we are burying this fucker now. Yeah, in case
exactly.
he's a vampire and actually comes back to life, because God knows
he just sits up in his grave.
He sits up, he's like, that was a weird oxygen bar I went to, man. Where's my next booze?
Drink, please.
Oh my God. I mean, probably it would have happened.
That man just wakes up. He's just like, shot, 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 shots.
Everybody. Except they actually have surgical masks on because they don't want to smell that wood alcohol at all.
True.
I would imagine. But because of that, an investigation ensued. But the sad thing is, was too many cooks in the kitchen. So what do you think's going to happen when there's too many cooks in the kitchen?
Someone's a tattletale.
The story of the indestructible Michael Malloy, our Lord and Savior Mike Malloy, was too good to stay secret. The tale started circulating in other bars, making its way around other card games, until the Bronx police, during this investigation already, picked up the rumors, and they were just like, this is a coincidence. So they paid that local doctor, but city forensic scientists, because of everything, they exhumed the body. And they were just like, why is he this? This was several months after his death, but by that time, researchers knew, like, they still tested his body, and there was still a shit ton of carbon monoxide still there.
Okay.
Because, like, they tied a tube to his mouth, like, it's going to stay in there. So there were still, even months later, lethal levels of carbon monoxide in his system. So they found, first, the cab driver, Henry Green, who was probably kind of pissed off that he found out he was, like, you were only paid to drive the cab and try to kill him. but he was still kind of stiffed in the grand scheme of things of how much money they were supposed to get, and he got pissed. The physician that wrote the original death certificate, so as to not get anything further at him, because he already signed a false death certificate, which is probably enough to garner enough suspicion on you and lose your license.
Yeah.
They testified for the prosecution and immediately were like, these are the people that did it.
Nice.
So Jojo Murphy, Lil Joseph, Tony Marino, Daniel Kreisberg, and Pasqua all went to the electric chair in the summer of 1934 for the drawn as fuck out murder plot of Michael Malloy. Oof. Which, mind you speaking, that is very fast for a death sentence. Like,
how long did it take?
Michael Malloy died in February 1933.
Wow.
The investigation, they exhumed his body a few months after his death.
Yeah.
And then the next year, they went to electric chair.
That is fast. Now people wait like over 10 years to get killed. Mm-hmm. People wait on death row for a very long time now. And they're like, any day.
It's not fast.
I will give my opinion on the death penalty when we have our death penalty episode,
know.
But it's sitting up here.
I know it's up there, but
I have a lot to say about it.
I know. Let me show you pictures. I don't know if you want to.
Show me these men.
Of these men. So that's Tony Marino, the speakeasy. Let me put my brightness on. The speakeasy owner. Who, mind you, his picture was the one that was circulating around, and people were like, that's Michael Malloy.
That man would be kind of attractive if he had a different haircut.
He's sweating because he was arrested, probably in front of his wife and children.
Yeah, okay.
Like, he killed a man.
From over here, he looks terrifying.
Yeah, like, he's kind of terrifying.
But he's got a good only a 27-year-old man. Now, here's 24. Mind you, he looks... I know the Great Depression, like, stress does things to your appearance, but this man's supposed to be 24. Frank Pasqua is 24. I'm 24.
That's like an ugly Stalin, you know what I mean? Like young, ugly Stalin.
I went through this other article I had saved, and I never realized there was a picture of Michael Malloy's dead body after it was exhumed, so it's definitely rotting.
Uh-oh.
Yay.
I kind of want to see it.
Oh.
No, I don't want to see it. I'll have nightmares.
But,
no, but I want to see it, but I won't have nightmares. I don't want to see it.
I bet you're wondering, what happened to everyone. There was enough evidence to get all four of those guys in the Bronx County Courthouse, and they were just like, yes. First, they tried to plead insanity, which is like, bitch,
everyone tries that.
Bitch, first everyone tries it. 2,
it's hard to prove.
It's very hard to prove. 3, these were very calculated attempts at figuring. You decided to switch with wood alcohol. But when that didn't work, they pretty much pointed the finger at each other. And finally, they accused Tough Tony Bastonio of murder instead, because he was violent. Because he was violent. Exactly. It's literally the scene in the office where they point the little finger guns at each other. So they decided, they were like, you know what, Tough Tony did it. But
blame it on Tough Tony.
But you want to know why that probably was just idiotic, that they couldn't even really do that? A little bit before that, Tough Tony Bastoni was shot dead, and Joseph Maglione was charged with his murder.
Funny. Well, not funny.
That's
funny,
the end of Tough Tony Bastoni. But Joseph...
Sure, blame it on the dead guy.
Blame it on the violent dead guy. At the same time, Joseph was probably just like, no. You're not gonna just fucking do this. Like, I'm already charged with murder. I ain't gonna get lying on it. Let's put it this way. These fuckers started it. They did that. Tough Tony didn't do shit. He wanted to shoot him in the head months ago. We didn't do it. Done.
All right.
And they probably, like, cursed Joseph to fucking hell. But Joe's like, you know what? Either I'm dying along with you guys, or I'm just sitting cozy in the state prison, not having to deal with shit because I just killed a gang member. Because Tough Tony was all the way the fuck around all the place. He was like the brawn around the Bronx around that time.
Yeah, okay.
And you don't get a name like Tough Tony Bastoni for sitting home and knitting, for fuck's sake. They were executed in June and July of 1934, literally speaking 2 years after the plot started. Executed in the electric chair at Sing Sing Prison. Old Sparky.
Sing Sing's still fucking hard.
Harry Green, very technically, Harry Green was the only member of the murder trust to escape execution, and he was sent to prison instead.
Fair. He doesn't deserve it.
People were like, Michael Malloy smiled on the courthouse that day, and I was just like, oh, yeah, he did. Michael Malloy's probably doing shots with Jesus himself right now. He's just like, look at that fucking shit, man. Look at that.
So what we've learned today is that Irish immigrants are hard. They are hardcore people.
And that Michael Malloy is up there with Lizzo and Ruth Bader Ginsburg as my inspirations.
Oh, I thought you meant like up in heaven. I was like, neither of them are dead, Gabby.
No. The day Lizzo dies is the day I die.
The day my Ruthie dies, I will die for her.
No, the day Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies is the day this country lights up in flames.
Oh my god,
Mark
I'll
my
set the
fucking
country on
words,
flames.
ma'am.
That's my woman.
Oof. Executing those men was the state's toast to Mike the Durable.
Mike the Durable.
Mike the Durable, Iron Mike, like Mike, Rasputin of the Bronx.
Raise your glass for Mike.
Raise your glass for Mike. All you at home, in
Raise
your
it
car.
high.
I don't care if you're in your car. I don't care what you're doing right now. Raise your glass, proverbial
Mike.
glass for Mike. And that is the end,
That is the end.
of episode 3.
And now take a sip.
And I take a sip. Bless him. Be sure to look at any of the links in the show notes if you want to learn any more about that which is God Savior, Michael Malloy. And I forgot what the book is called. It's like some riff on a bar term. I forgot what it was. But there is a very good, very detailed book on this case of Michael Malloy that you could look up on Amazon. The book's like a grayscale with red lettering. I forgot what it was called. And there's a whole bunch of pictures just in the middle of Marino Speakeasy, the Murder Trust, different things they did, all like the actual insurance policies written up are right in there, the fake death certificate, all that stuff. So,
On the house.
well, thanks, Gianna. It's called On the House, the story of Michael Malloy, because the bizarre killing of Michael Malloy, because goddamn, that shit weird, man.
I'll give you the authors by Simon Reed.
Everyone give love to Simon Reed, because this bitch just documented the ever-living hell out of this crime, and it is a ride. Like, even if you don't like nonfiction books, like, this book is a ride. So, definitely make sure to subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you're on, and leave a nice rating on there, please, if you're nice.
Please leave nice comments.
Please be nice.
We're nice people
I know I
sometimes.
sound like a boy sometimes. I don't need to be told that.
I sound like a valley girl sometimes.
I sound like a boy. I sound like a boy going through puberty with how much my fucking voice cracks.
The only comment is just going to be like,
Who's that boy?
The one comment will be I know there's Gabby and Allie, and I know gender is a construct, but who that boy?
Who the boy?
Who that boy? Oh shit, what up?
Boy.
But for now, for You're Not Gonna Believe This podcast, I'm Gabby.
I'm Allison.
Until next time.
Till next time.